Thanks for joining. We have gathered here to understand what MingleJS is from the author himself, Patricio. He will introduce him more in details, and I will introduce everyone else in short. Amit, Ashish, they are part of Pune volunteer team, and Punyapal is a influencer, Laravel India influencer. So he volunteered to join this stream. So welcome Punyapal and welcome volunteers and obviously welcome Patricio. Over to you, Patricio.
Well, so I'm a tech enthusiast. I'm always exploring new stuff, but Laravel is, or I am with Laravel since 4.0. So that's something that it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think it demonstrates how good the tool is because it was. I would change if I would see something much better, but in all those years, it hasn't been something much better. So, yeah, of course, it's not the tool for all jobs, but it's a wonderful thing. I also love JavaScript. I also love Docker, self-hosting, and anything in tech. AI is bringing my interest in RAG and MCP. And yeah, let's have some fun.
Have you tried that Gimli? Gimli.
Still
No.
not.
What? Not yet?
Not yet. Oh, there is only 24 hours in the day.
Yes. All right. So I like for everyone the talk is not structured. We are going freestyle. So we are going to have also some conversations in between, but what the end goal of this whole session is going to be that we understand at least if not completely MingleJS, but at least a majority of it, why, what it is, when to use it, and hopefully some internals as well. So stay stay around. Yes. So how do we start, Patricio?
So should I share my screen maybe?
Yes, let's do that.
First time in this software, but should be easy, I think. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So MingleJS is a library I've put together so that we could have JavaScript components supporting React and Vue at the moment in Laravel Livewire applications. For a long time, I've been an Inertia fan. Livewire didn't click for me at the beginning. Version 3 came and changed all of that. And I felt again that liberty, that flexibility, that power start in Blade, right? Because while you are still in Laravel, you have all the context you need. You can inject a service, database, query, cache, authorization, permissions. You have all of it. While if you have SPA or inertia, you have to serialize this data and you don't actually serialize it, but you have to prepare it, send it down to the browser, and then get it as props, and then deliver it to where it's needed, and so on. In Livewire, I rediscovered I can assemble a DOM in each navigation, and it's refreshing. And of course, this is not a recipe for everyone and not for all of my projects. It depends on the project. It just so happens that my client work is I made it be like that so I could focus on something, and that's internal tools in companies for a given company. So Filament fits very well, Livewire fits very well, and I actually stop enjoying a little bit Alpine when it has to grow more than 20 lines right? If I have to write a big Alpine thing, there are some stuff that I start missing the JavaScript ecosystem, because I can split the client-side rendering across multiple files.
Mm.
This is somewhat possible in Laravel as well, but it's just not the same. It would take much time, maybe, to explain what I'm saying,
Mm.
and we can do it other time. I guess I'll focus more on the benefits that I've started seeing after bringing Vue and React into Livewire applications. So this is the landing page for the package. And of course, there are some other benefits that came along. But, well, the first one is to be able to have complex code structured in across a JavaScript bundle, including client-side templates, right? So, other than that, we can also leverage components that are in other ecosystems in a very easier way. Of course, there are Livewire does that, right? You can implement a jQuery shard or data grid or even a Vue or React component all by yourself manually. But this way, I think it speeds that experience. And if your team is like a backend and front end, you can also get this separation, and you can have people working on the component independently from the backend, and still you have a Livewire application, just like in Inertia, right? Or you can also go incrementally, and you can have sections that are Livewire and always will be, but then other sections of such page or other pages might be a full JavaScript page. So this was the motivation to make it happen.
Okay.
And would you like to jump into a demo, or maybe just let's look at how we assemble it, maybe? So in a given page,
Mm.
we have a regular HTML portion, and
Mm.
then there will be a div where you can place your JavaScript component, and your page can continue,
Okay.
right? Uh, this div will never re-render again.
Mm.
So in Livewire, you can change the you can change the markup inside,
Mm.
but that one has to be safe because it's JavaScript that's responsible to make DOM updates.
Yep. Like how React and Vue usually do.
Exactly. So something that is commonly needed. It's not just a static rendering, right? So we need to give props to JavaScript, and we will have a mechanism to do so. And we will leverage the wire that Livewire uses to communicate with the backend. We will use exactly that for backend communication, which is something that I always missed as well in Inertia. I've done some kind of RPC internal in the projects. Fusion, Laravel Fusion is a great way of doing it as well. It seems. I haven't still tried. But yeah, what do I mean by all this? It's not having to, when it's an internal application, right? You can just have your own classes. You don't need documentation for an API. You don't need nothing of that. Although you can abstract and keep your controllers thin, right? Um, it's just better to have the action, right? Livewire people will understand, and people who will try it will also understand, because we are in our component, and we can just, let me check if I can show you. I'm putting myself in the mind of someone who doesn't know much about Livewire. So Yeah, exactly. So this is the looks of a class that starts a mingle component. So this runs in the backend, and you can provide initial state. This just runs once,
Okay.
and then you can have methods that you can call from the front end.
Hmm.
So let's say this function,
Okay.
it's like a behind an API,
Hmm.
quote unquote, for the
Yes.
audio listeners.
Hmm.
It's nothing. Why is it nothing like an API? Because there's no route endpoint, there's no controller, so it feels just tightly together. It feels like faster. It's not for all tastes, but it definitely is for mine. So this function is called double it, and you provide it an amount, and it doubles that amount and returns such value. So let's look at some view code. How do we call that function? Just like so. So you are in the browser
Hmm.
in this. So we changed for a file, which is JavaScript and runs in the browser.
Hmm.
And you just call wire.doubleIt, and that's it. You might want to work with then, or you can await as well, because this returns a promise for
Hmm.
your taste of JavaScript. It's just the wire, it's just the default thing. This is just the library MingleJS, it's just connecting some dots. So there's no heavy magic, no unexpected or undocumented stuff, right? It's just gluing together the backend and the front end, and that's it. In terms of React, it will be exactly the same. It's just JavaScript running, and there are other ways to call it. You can give the string of the method and the params next. So, and that's all documented in Livewire. So, yeah, this is basically it. I will allow you some time for some questions before we're going into the demo.
Yes. So
Um, yeah.
go ahead, Punita.
So like you are just providing that dollar wire into the reactor view directly, right? So that is what you are doing with the MingleJS,
Yeah, not
right?
only, but mainly. Yeah, in terms of communication, yeah.
If I have
Okay,
one
so
question.
like yeah, yeah, Jigar.
No, no, go ahead. You finish.
Okay, so like I will be able to do whatever I can do with the dollar wire, right? Like each and everything, like I can access the ID of the component from the wire, right? Like I will
Yes,
do everything, right? So all the properties and method will be binded to this wire from the dollar wire.
right. Although I
Correct.
don't I don't have a specific or opinionated way of using the wire state, just the methods, because I didn't want to go that route of entangling state, because there are so many ways people can do it on the front end. So I'll just allow some liberty right there, right?
Right, right.
And also the event system is the default one. So yeah, you can emit events to the backend and to the backend and from the backend as well. But I'm not like, I didn't find an opinionated, much better way than all other ways to document it or to implement it. So for the time being, I would like to have some, but I still didn't find a fantastic way of doing it.
Right. So like we can like add our own functions to it. Like if I contribute to Mingle, like is this wire open to add more methods or properties like over the
Yeah.
dollar wire? Okay.
So
Cool.
$wire, you may increment more functions just by adding them to this PHP class.
No, no, that I understood. It is like see. what we can do is like we can extend live wires like directives and all, right? So if I extend there, it will be also available in the $wire too, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jigabhai, you can continue.
Yes. So what I have understood is, so the static, the initial, uh, in the initial section you mentioned that first we render this static, kind of static JavaScript in a div that you call a mingle div,
Hmm.
and from then onwards, then my question is, how is $wire exposed to the static one, and how does it refresh? Like if you want to refresh some kind of a, not the component but the object itself of that $wire, if it is statically hard coded.
You have to do that in JavaScript.
Hmm.
I understood you wanted to mutate the DOM.
Yes. Yes. So
Yeah.
mutate the DOM. Yes. Yeah, we'll have to do that. I think then we'll have to do it via JavaScript itself.
Yeah. I think that's exactly the first thing that we can do
Hmm.
in the demo. Don't know if anyone would like some questions addressed before doing that.
Amitav
Okay.
has a question in the chat.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So
hello, Amitav.
yeah,
So Patricio, in the end, the requests are also AJAX calls, or they are server side.
Yeah, so they are Ajax calls. Yeah. So we can. So think of these as your own Axios already built for you by Caleb in Livewire. I'm just providing that connection and making props available and this wire object available as well.
Okay, can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, so like, see, I tried into the like liveware. If I have function at like at liveware side at a like server side, I mean into the class, right? And if I'm returning from something from there, right? I'm not able to get it into the like JS code if I call that particular function with the wire, right? $wire. If I say if I have a like get data something function in the livewire class method, and if I do $wire dot get data, right? I will be not able to get data from that function call, right?
I
So is
think
it
you
like
will. Maybe I got lost, but I think you will.
I tried,
If you
but I never
return,
got.
I mean, it depends. If you are on default Livewire, that will trigger a re-render. Then yes, you don't need to return because you will use that in the blade rendering.
Let me tell you, like
Yeah.
livewire has some attribute or a function called a skip render, right? Or we can say renderless, right? So I was
Mhm.
using that particular thing to like stop the render because I'm only like interested in get the data, right? At my client side, right? But if I return any data from any class, right? Like class method, I'm not able to get that particular data while calling that particular function with wire function, wire dot get data, right? So is will it be possible in this particular case, do you think?
Yes, it is. That's what's happening in this situation.
Right.
And we can explore it in regular Livewire because that is possible as well.
Is this data is like what view is returning or something
So
other than that?
this data is what
Yeah.
will be returning here.
Okay.
So it's like
Okay. So,
colon.
hmm,
It's this return.
yeah. So okay. So it is possible in this case, but maybe I need to try again with the live app. Right?
Sure. Let me know if you need
No, it's okay.
anything. Yeah.
Probably even after this session, even I am going to try. MingleJS. I think we discussed offline,
Yeah.
like try to inject one of the things I want to uh, solve basically. I will probably in the end, if we have time, I will probably discuss what I will try. But we can
Sure.
continue with the demo if no one else has a question. Amitav did ask another question. So, Patricio, you have created an inertia JS for Livewire, like we can use JavaScript inside Blade. You are allowing JS inside Livewire.
We can call it something like that. I think it's much less work. It's not the same credits as Inertia, right?
Hmm.
Uh, Inertia is a much bigger project. But
Hmm.
yes, I do believe that's exactly the intent, because what I don't see fit for my typical projects is inertia having to inertia takes care of the whole page, right? The whole DOM. And the subsequent navigations are a client-side navigation, like a typical SPA, that goes to the server and gets props for the next page. So I don't have much flexibility in changing from page to page. So it's exactly bringing JavaScript, but also keeping Livewire. So I think we can call it some adapted version of Inertia to Livewire. Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
You said that like it is not like inertia is the big project, right? But
Mm.
if you combine a MingleJS with the Livewire, it is as much as powerful that like than inertia, right? Like we can do most of the things
Uh,
already.
yeah. Uh, Server-side rendering is not covered. And also Inertia allows, well, it's different. Maybe we don't need it, right? But Inertia has multiple adapters on the back end, and Livewire it's just Laravel, right? There's Inertia for
Oh,
I can't
right.
remember, but there's for JavaScript, Rails, Elixir, probably more and more, because it's in the end of the day it's kind of a protocol, right, on the back end with headers and some schema that comes down. And in terms of front end, it also has so it has Vue, React, and Svelte.
Angular also is
Uh,
there.
Yeah, and it has much more mechanisms. For example, the what is that called? The infinite scrolling, for instance, or lazy data loading when some component comes to the page, then it loads that component state, something like that, which I haven't built in. But yes, I would say generally we don't need to move from Blade or Livewire to Inertia to get 80% of the benefits of a JavaScript
Right,
rich front end.
right. Okay.
So would I bring the project now?
Yes.
Okay, so I've done this in the morning before lunch, and it always seems fast, but if I end up doing it live, it always takes more time than we predict, right?
Yes.
So what have I done? A Laravel new installation with the Livewire starter kit. So it's Laravel new, bam, 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 next, next, next. So then I installed dependencies, which means mingle in PHP.
Possible to
And
zoom in?
I don't know if I can actually.
It's okay. So it's okay if you
Oh,
can,
I'm
because
sorry.
it's okay because we can
I
see it's composer JSON, composer lock,
yeah, we
package lock,
can
and
make
package JSON.
something. Yeah. I guess now we can. So yeah, I just installed Mingle, and we'll go over the steps. So this is just documentation in MingleJS, right? Let me find it. So it's just this. I did this and this, right? And this. I didn't know what flavor you would want to bring, or maybe we'll do both flavors of JavaScript. So I just wanted to go around to the code so you can not wait 10 minutes for to do this all, but maybe it's not even 10. I just wanted it to be so much faster, right? So all this is in the documentation. So firstly, Laravel new, then Composer install Mingle, and install React and Vue and the Vite plugins for React and Vue. Then to configure MingleJS, we have to just edit the Vite config. This is all in the docs. Oops, here it is. Depending on your flavor, you copy things from here. And I put both flavors. And also on the layouts, if you want the automatic loading of the JavaScript for your Mingle components, you just put this @mingles directive on the layout, and that's it. It's all explained. And then what I've done is I created the first Mingle, but let's create another one starting now, live together. So up to now, we just did Laravel new and Mingle installation with JavaScript flavors. And that's the project we have here. So can you see, is it good? It should be, right? The dimensions of the font and everything?
I can see, but Amitav, Devjit, can you confirm if fonts are good?
I think make it 2x if possible.
I don't know. I think it's
Command plus.
It's something else, I think. Yeah. Shift Control dot here. Yeah. Is it good?
Yes.
Better?
Yes, much better.
Okay, so I'll just go and run. Okay, so this is also not in the best size, and here it's more difficult to bring. So blah blah blah. Here we go. So Command plus, yeah. So I'll just run PHP artisan make mingle. And do you want to go with Vue or React?
React.
And what component are we building?
Counter.
Always a counter or a to-do list. Yeah. So depending on how you want to build the thing, you might want to use in the JavaScript path, or you might want to make a folder and use the index in that folder, and then you will have multiple files in that folder, or you just might say your taste, right? I just think it's good to do this extra mile and have everything configured for you on the 80% use case. So for my taste, I like it for the same reasons I explained in the beginning, right? To have complex code, I'll put it in a folder. So that's it. We have a new Livewire component, which is a little bit modified to be the so-called mingle. So if I am to go to the counter component, we'll see this is just a default Livewire component. It's just that you don't know Livewire, but it typically, by convention, there is a render function in the bottom of the file, and we don't have it. So instead of having a render function, what we do is we have a component function, right? Which is mandated by asMingles, and there are some other mechanisms needed. So we use this trait, and that's it. We are just pointing into this component as the rendering point. And if we were to visit in this index, it is the component registration, and your said React component lives here. That's it. Let's put it on the page. I'll bring the dev server. What will I do as well? So, sorry, this opened in another browser. So, yeah. So if all goes well, it should be migrated because I've been here before. So I did a migrate fresh seed, and these are the default credentials, and that's it. Okay, so let's go and change the dashboard view, and I'll delete what's here. Here it was before something, some placeholder like this, right? But now we replaced it with hello, right? So what do? We just instantiate a Livewire component. There are multiple ways of doing that. The most HTML relatable way is to do Livewire and then the name of the component with a colon, right? And we can self-close the tag, and that's it. This is what we need to mount a Livewire component in this position. So if all went well, we don't see anything. And that's because I start with a comment. Let's not do that. Saving, and okay, something went wrong or what? What? Okay, so we see message in a bottle and 4. That's because we already ran the console log of what comes from the backend. So I'm not exactly sure why we're not seeing. Oh, just a moment. I didn't follow the instruction for React. Or will it put the... Sorry, I'm speaking alone. There's something we have to do to the Vite bundle, which is the React preamble for the Vite thing. But I think that's taken care of. I just wanted to like live debugging what B and A. So yeah.
Do we need to add that particular component JS file into the app.js? Like, do we need to import that or something like that?
Yeah. No, that's done already because I saw something that maybe I think it might be related to my computer. I don't know if it happens in yours, if it... It's a little bit technical, but of course we're developers, so we understand. The file system, listeners, when my computer, I learned a few weeks ago that after a few days of working, because of lots of npm run devs and watching for changes in files, it reaches the limit of the file system events, and it just stops knowing that the file updated. So we see it's there. So what I have to do is like reboot the machine. It feels like a Windows. I don't know what's that for, but if we I can attest that if I will do a regular artisan serve and an npm run build, right? I'm gonna go and refresh. Oh, for the build of a file, yeah, we have to declare them. We have
But
to
we did see the hello.
yeah, it was all good. I just wanted to like ensure. So now it works. And if I go and make a change on the component and I go and build it, so it's not waiting for the save file, right? I did it intentionally. If I go and refresh, yeah, it worked first time. But the other time I was like forcing a save and it wasn't working, but then at the third time it worked. Yeah, so it's my machine having some weird issue, and from some weeks ago I learned it's related to these file system events. That's how Node and Shokidar knows that the file was changed, so it can rechange, make the hot module replacement in the JavaScript bundle, and emit that change to the browser. So I'm sorry for going with a lots of jargon.
It's okay.
Okay.
At least I've understood. I learned something new today, though.
Yeah, it has been frustrating. I don't know. In the beginning, I'm a Docker fan, so I was even thinking it was related to containers and how the things map. But it turns out, even in the native file system, it's happening. So maybe, yeah, I'll just have to reboot every day or every 2 days if I switch projects all the time. So let's see. It had to happen in a live streaming, of course, because that's just how how things work.
Yes.
Okay. So oh, it seemed like someone was talking. Sorry. Okay, so let's what do you want to build? So let's do some div and some button. We wanted a count, right?
Here we are writing a proper React component, and we want to see the changes that are happening in React are we can DD the property inside the component, livewire component. So
Come again, please. You're speaking to me?
Yes. So what I am looking forward to is, so when you press a plus button, I want to take a look at a DD output of the livewire property, livewire component property. It should
on the backend, you mean?
On the backend, yes.
Okay, so let's go with click me. I'm not proficient in JSX. I'm even thinking if it should be double or single curly brace. So bear with me. We don't need a class for now, I think, do we?
It's fine.
Okay.
And we're not using some Copilot or autocomplete tools?
Not now. I think no. I think I tried JetBrains AI, but I wasn't as happy as with Claude Code. I don't know if you tried it. You did?
So yeah, when I was using Cursor,
Yeah, so it's similar, but directly from Anthropic in
Yes.
our console, and
Right.
it's
I use Claude as a AI model for my GitHub Copilot.
Hmm.
oh right, yeah, that can also be good. Okay, so something happened again because I'm not able to see the changes, it seems. Click me, and with account. Oh, I'm so sorry, and this is not good to reboot the machine during a live stream. So let's go, and yeah, you see the click me. So all we have to do is, I'll do it more manually like before. Vite and Webpack will manage. So we just have to go to the counter, and you said you want to see something happening from the backend, right?
Yes, because we are this component is uh, front end like
Yeah.
React, and actions are being taken at the front end component level, and how Livewire is getting aware of that. That's where the mingle is coming into picture, right?
Yeah, so we have both, right? In
Hmm.
React, we can have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
So how do you want to see that we are on the backend? You want to
Yes.
get the contents of a file, for instance?
No, no, no. Pro- just the property that, like, when we do a count plus, like, there will be a plus button in the counter component, and we
Hmm.
can have a property over here called count, and when we press a button over there, here we should see a like
Ah, okay.
incremented dd. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. It could be JavaScript state. We don't need a server for that. So I was trying to make
uh,
something more complex, but that's totally
let's
okay.
let's go
Yeah, sure.
slow. Let's
So
go slow,
yeah. Oh,
because
I'm
I'm a
writing
backend
JavaScript now.
I'm a backend guy. I don't think you recollect, but long back when we were in podcast, I had mentioned that I'm a backend guy. I don't have experience with inertia. I'm a live wire guy. So uh,
Sure.
how this MingleJS is basically how actions in React component are, I can see in Livewire. I want to see that first. Then you can obviously go more complex.
Of course. Let's do
Yes.
it. So is this okay? Starting account with 3,
Yes.
just as a demo, just not to be 0 like the other one. And I'll do a get count. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll return this count. Is this okay?
That's so you will then do $wire dot get count in the component
Yeah.
like that.
You already see it. Yeah. So what I'm
Yes.
going to do is when you click me,
Hmm.
um, I think it's on click. Yeah. I've been doing just this. I've been doing React, but not much. So let's do the get account. So we make this JavaScript function, which will, so instead of doing like so, we can also do like so, for example. Yeah. And if it would have properties, it would be here. I mean,
Hmm.
arguments.
Okay. Okay.
So wire call get count, and we could await to get the value, or we can get it in a promise style, and that's it. On data, we will see count. So I would expect, as it is, to see 3 when we click the button. Should we try it?
Yes.
Moment. My computer issue. I'm sorry. So let's go. I'll refresh the page, and I'm going to click the button, and I would expect to see the current count, which is 3. And we do.
Hmm.
And Amitav was asking, let me show. the network tab. So I'm going to clear the console and I'm going to click the button again. So there we go. Our Ajax request went to
Yeah.
the server and we got some state.
This is the
If,
standard Livewire Ajax call, which it makes on every action.
yeah, you can do this in Alpine or just regular JavaScript. You don't even need Alpine to do it. Livewire also has a JS mechanism. Alpine is when it comes to client-side rendering.
Hello. Okay, I have like another stream in a 10 minutes, so I need to go. Thanks for
Yes.
having me. See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye,
See you,
Patricio.
Punyapal.
Bye bye. Yeah. Thank you.
You have anything more complex to share, which uh, which more advanced user will understand or will like knowing?
I mean, of course, I don't know if there's the time, but I don't know. Let's maybe get a user and do something with said user, or we can like have two mingles and listen to an event in one and react to listen to the event and react accordingly. That's something we can do. Maybe what I would suggest is let's do something with some logic instead of doing loose examples. Maybe we could do something with a goal. Is that something you guys would like to see?
Yes, yes. So, what I would say is that 45 minutes have passed, and if you have other things, probably we can stop and probably we can uh, do a next session. That's also fine, but that's up to you. We are fine.
Okay, sure. What can we do? Yeah, 5 or 10 more minutes for a next example. I think it's
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Would it be like so? I'm not sure. Okay. So what would we do? Like what's the example you wanted to? Do you have something you wanted to try? Maybe we can open the road for such a thing.
Hmm. So I was thinking, uh, can we try including some ready plugin? So let's say
Sure.
uh, some famous plugin of React, which is probably very common and stable. We try to include that in our view, livewire component view. Yes, that's one thing
You
that I
want to
can think
pick?
of.
Okay. You want to pick one, or should I?
So is there a React date picker or not? Date picker is only front end, but yeah, date that is actually React itself is front end.
What
See, the
can be?
value of these mingle components are, the way I say it is that uh, within a page, we have a component where values keep changing based on the user interactions, right? Uh, so let's say drop downs where we are changing values from one based on one selection to another, or like submission of forms, right? So instead of demo, if you can, Petrio, if you can explain some use cases of these mingle blocks.
Of the member blocks? Sorry, I didn't catch you.
Mingle blocks, the blocks or the mingle divs that you have created, right? The component, liveware components, because they're going to server, getting the data from the server, and then showing it on the block, right?
So something that is reactive to state in the database, for example?
Yes.
So, for example, if we add a to-do to a to-do list, this list would be incremented by what's in the database. Is that it, for example?
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, basically, if user interacts on the front end, some value happens, right? So that update and the state shows up on the site. So, for example, in case of a to-do list,
Yeah.
if I select a checkbox saying that, okay, this task is done, right? So now this has to go back, mark the data on the backend, and then come back and refresh the free interface to say that, oh, yeah, okay, this has been updated on the server as well, or something like that.
Exactly. I bring the to-do list example because it's one we can do in a couple of minutes, of course. We can do that example, and if you want to do a big data table with nested data, the mechanism will be very similar. So would we do that for a finish?
And before that, I will read one of the comment. How can
Sure.
we bring in the situation? I will just show it on the screen by Amitav. How can we bring in the situation where a component in React has some data which updates data on other part of the page which is not mingle? Basically, they don't mingle very well. Is in the bracket. Did you
So
get the question?
I'm not 100% sure. So there is some data in a React component,
Hmm.
and then this data updates other section in that page, right?
Hmm.
Which would not be mingle.
So if I have understood correctly, so basically there is livewire component, a native livewire component, and MingleJS livewire component. So is it possible to share that data between these two components which are not mingled? Is what I'm assuming he's talking about.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So
So,
yeah, but I think if my understanding is correct, we can use the events, trigger the events.
right, this is one approach, the events.
Okay.
The other would be a global store. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, okay. So I guess we can do that by having, for example, a live wire. Oh, but then, okay, so let's do it. Although it's a bit of a repetition, maybe we can do both examples. What do I suggest?
Hmm.
We have a to-do list component
Hmm.
which reacts when we add the to-do or mark as completed, etc., right? And then we might have a live wire component that does the same,
Hmm.
right? Or that lists only the completed tasks, for example.
Yeah. All right.
And that's in a different div, not mingled.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that a good scenario?
Very good. Very good scenario. Yes.
Yeah, if maybe,
That
yeah.
will that get over in 10 minutes?
Let's see.
Let's
Let's see what happens.
let's see. Let's
Let's have fun.
yes.
So I think so. If not 10, maybe a little bit more, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is, should I'm thinking if to do a migration or just to use a file, but that's okay. Create tasks table. Whoops, not this one.
It's really difficult to do on a live stream without plan. And
Yes, it is, and
we,
everything takes longer than we predict.
yeah, it's okay. We'll try to help. So we only need
So
uh
task name or description,
task name is fine. Yes. Description or name is fine. Yes.
and yeah,
Is completed. Perfect.
right. So migrate fresh seed. Well, we have to write all. Okay. We're supposed to have a model. That's it. I didn't unguard all, so this should be good for now. That's it. We have a table for tasks. We have a model to write to set table. So what we're going to do is, okay, I'll be not so good at React. Oh, there's a to-do list already that I started the to-do list. Can we use this instead, or you will help me with React when I will have a problem?
To-do list, existing one is fine if you have it already.
I don't have a to-do list. I just have a component which is called to-do list. It's but it's already in Vue. I started it before.
Yeah.
Is this
Are
okay?
you do you know Vue?
Yeah.
Then it's fine because
Yeah.
well,
React, I'm just learning along the way. There are
Yeah.
some components, for example, the rich text editor in TipTap editor, and another one which is block note. So I'm learning from these and slowly, but I don't want to go full React. I better relate to how Vue works.
Vue is fine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Amita won't mind because he knows Vue and React both.
It's basically the same, just a different syntax and
Yes, exactly.
way of using. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
basically the same. Okay, so what we're going to do is to then, so this is exactly a empty mingle. So there's the wire, the mingle date,
Mhm.
and it's just that string. It calls this method in the beginning. It outputs this. So yeah, let's clean it. And okay, let's bring the dashboard view. Oops, the view, not the test. We can have, yeah, let's clean it. Instead of the counter, we will have the to-do list.
Yes.
And if all goes well, this build is, oh, of course.
Like how we mingle this counter JS, we'll have to do the same for to-do list JS, right?
Exactly. You don't have to do it in development in the npm run dev because the files are get from memory because of the node server, the Vite node server. But when you need to compile files, then you have to declare them.
Okay.
There's also a mechanism for auto import. If you have like 20 mingles, if you are doing it heavily, you use this function and that's it. From here, you can, so you import find mingles, right? And then you use them, you get them, and you,
Yeah.
what's this
It's
name?
it's like
You spread them, you spread
spread.
the array, yeah, and all those mingles will be here.
It's like this auto load composer auto load thing.
Same.
Nice.
Exactly. So I'm just doing that in the demo because unfortunately my computer decided to stop recognizing the changes in files. Oh, I feel sorry for that. Okay, build something great. So we have the view rendering. And now we go, for example, the initial thing. What should we do? The to-do list component, mingle data, I will get to-dos, and I will provide task. right? I call it
Yes.
task.
Yep.
What are you complaining about?
Is it all? Yep. Query also works.
Yeah, it was the autocomplete wasn't aware.
Hmm.
So I'll call it tasks just for the sake of consistency.
Okay.
And if all goes well in our to-do list, I'm just going to go and console log mingle data. Okay, when starting the component, I will mingle data and see what we have. And let's make an input, I would say. And that's it. I typically don't use view like so. I now depend on options API, but it still works. So I'm going to go and say new task equals ref. I don't love this way. I don't know. Are you familiar with view?
Not much.
Okay. So this is like a JavaScript file, typical JavaScript, but there's also another flavor. So that's called a composition API. You build a component like so. But there's another way, which is the options API.
Okay.
And that said options, it's an object. So for me, it resembles a class and structure. So there's a data key where you put data. There's a methods key where you put methods, right? Computed properties. So
Okay.
there's a structure. When you have a script and you can use these hooks, for example, new task, it's a state. That it's like use state in
React.
React, and it starts with an empty string, right? These will be wherever, right? It's just how the developer organized. And with options API, there's a consistency across developers, and that's something I like. Not only for other developers, but when I return to code that I wrote 1 year ago, I like some structure, or I will be lost for myself. So I'm going to go and say just, so vModel equals a new task. So what I will write in the input, it will be in new task. And I'll have a button that at click, I'm going to say save task. I'm going to make a function. And I will do wire dot save task.
Yes.
And I'm going to give it new task dot value. That's it.
Okay.
So if all goes well, it should persist a task. If I would call save task. So let's come. We don't need double it, so I'll replace it. This is the task. And let's go and save the task. Is complete is default false, so we should be good. I'm going to go and just die dump just to see it after the creation. And whoop. Or instance, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what we have. I'm going to go and build. And that's it. Let's go to Chrome. I'm going to go and refresh. the input is kind of hidden. Okay, so let's say by eggs. I'm going to go and save. And that's it. We have a task in the database. And no routing, no controller. You see, everything is in place, Livewire style. So that's something I really enjoy. I can grow JavaScript complexity by the JavaScript rules and not Blade.
Yes.
And
I
that's why
think this is
I love it.
more advanced than inertia, I think then.
It
But-
allows more stuff, I think,
Yes.
because now it also allows Livewire stuff, right? You can have the flexibility to this page I'll do just PHP, this one I'll do JavaScript, that other one you will do a mix. Yeah. So I'm going to go and refresh and see mingle data, and now we see we already have a task there.
Okay, nice. I have a basic question, probably you already covered. So inertia, I'm probably asking about inertia. So this inertia, because I haven't worked in inertia. So when we make a call, basic call, does it do a Ajax call like how Livewire does?
Yeah. So there are some mechanisms in inertia to make server-side requests. But in fact, there's something missing, which is when you want to do like a very specific behavior in a set component, nested or something like that.
Okay.
Then you also bring Axios or fetch, and you make your Ajax request explicitly. Right? In inertia, what you do when you go to server side functions and you iterate props on the page, and you can do lazy loading, you can do partial visits, you can do all sorts of things. What inertia tries to mimic is the traditional monolith like we did before, where everything was a controller and you redirect back with session. So the backend is very traditional wise in that sense. And the whole architecture will be highly modern because of the front end.
Understood.
But
Thanks.
there's that philosophy which is different in how you go to the server.
Yes.
Sure, of course. No problem. So let's go and render our list. Instead of die dumping, we will do nothing. What we will do is... but we have to get tasks. So I don't know. Let's just do something really quick. So
we'll
our
have to
tasks...
introduce a delete button as well, right? Completed.
To do a complete application, yes, but we're just doing an example, so we will do just half. We will do just half application. I was going to do tasks, right? Which is a reactive state. And I would iterate with mingledata.tasks, which is our initial state when we render, right? So I would, on the beginning, on demand, we would say tasks.value equals ... mingle data.tasks. That's it. There's no TypeScript declarations, so there could be. So we have this error. Something we could do if you don't like to see that. Is it like so? That's it. So now we're going to go and UL probably. So let's go v4, task in tasks. That's it. I think it's enough. So task dot description. and maybe oh, how do you do a checkbox? Is it a checkbox? Input type checkbox, right?
Input type.
I'm using filament for so long. Input type checkbox, and then v model or value, and no value. Let's just use value because we can, yeah. V model is syntactic sugar for putting the value and emitting an event to change the value. So that would be task dot is completed.
We isn't. I thought that we will pass a ID to V model, then we'll process that ID and mark it as incompleted. I'm
Come
just-
again? We can do it multiple ways. I'm just want to see a render now, and then we can fix maybe.
Okay.
Oh, and of course, this silly thing has to do. So yeah, by X, and it's not completed. Production mode. Oh, damn it. It's npm run build. Why? Why don't you work? Ah, here it is. Maybe we can see it. So components, to-do list, our tasks, right? Is completed 0. So if we go and mark, yeah, I shouldn't have. That's why I was thinking on value. We should change it on the original array from top down. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. So and this is read only. Or we would have to catch the event and do it something else. What's happening here? Oh, this is something else even. Were passed to component but could not be automatically inherited because component renders fragments. What do you mean? Oh, silly me. That's on me. Components have to have a single root element.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I could have changed it probably as well. Yeah. So tasks and sometimes this needs a refresh. I don't know where is that. If we do it 0. No, this one is it not that one? Ah, probably. Yeah, this one we cannot change. So probably it's those objects. Okay, so it's not completed. Tell me again, Jigar, how you want to complete?
So I was thinking, like in the row itself, we add a button, and when we click on a button, that will mark it as completed. So I was
Sure.
thinking in view component, we'll on that each row will have a complete button, and when we click a complete button, it will trigger a function, view function, that component function, which will call wire dot completed, mark as completed, something like that.
Sure. wire at click equals task completed, and then we provided task.id, something like so.
Correct.
Yeah, makes sense. So we now come here and const task completed equals a function, and we're gonna go and wire dot task completed and ID.
Amitav mentioned, I don't know for the context, I missed it. So you can directly change in DB. He has written. I don't know for which topic he was.
Directly change in DB.
Hmm.
I think it was to do with that is true value. That count.
I can't hear you properly, Amit.
I think it was to do with that true value, which we're doing with the checkbox.
You want like we click on the checkbox and it marks true, right?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
that's
that's
what Amitav was
in,
referring to.
instead of having a button. Yeah, it's the same. We just have to listen to an event and call
Yeah.
that function on the event.
Hmm.
You want to do that or this way, or how do you want?
No, just
Ignore it.
continue
He
what you're doing.
mentioned you can ignore it now.
Okay.
Yes.
So it will be completed task. This is task ID. We can update where, right? Where, or we can find it just to do it in one query or two, but okay. We'll do query, or let's do it more elegant, more ORM style. We're gonna go in task. Yeah, it's the find or file even. Yeah, it's too much. It's just a demo, right? So we're gonna go in task is completed. I guess we can do something like, sometimes I forget, but toggle. Isn't there an ORM function that changes from true to false, and that's it?
Hmm. I
I
think toggle
think
does exist.
it exists. I'm not sure. So let's see. Task save. That's it. I'm gonna go and build. Oh, it was building in dev. Let's see if now it works better. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the network, cleaning, mark complete. No such column is completed. So it worked. Oh, it's right.
Is underscore. Okay.
Yeah, computer is right. What the hell, right? Okay, so mark completed. That's it. It happened. It didn't refresh. We'll take care of that later. But now we're going to refresh. I was zooming in. And if I were to refresh, it should update because it gets new state.
Hmm.
So let's go. Refresh. What happened? Is completed equals 1.
So we haven't add a
In
where
checkbox,
condition,
you
right?
have to write checked. No, in checkbox, you have to do checked, right?
You are
Oh,
expecting it to
sorry.
not list it, right?
No, I did colon v model, which is not right. I think now it's good. But it should be.
I think it should be V if something like that. V if or V show something like that.
Let me
No,
try to find it. I'm
I'm
almost sure v model works.
V model. Looking at the name, I think it's
V
like
model
something like
check.
two-way
Yeah.
binding. Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's okay. It's just that, yeah, in Blade it will be with checked. I think it's again, this didn't update, but I did a mistake and did colon v model. So
Okay.
that doesn't work for sure.
That's a probably live wire thing.
Yeah, it's a mix. Is completed okay? Recognize.
Check if new code is actually coming. It's possible you were right that your laptop is not picking up file changes. Yes, yes. So he tried that. I think he will get. He's looking at the stream probably around a minute slow. So I think he did try rebuilding.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amita.
What? Why isn't this?
See, in case of checkboxes, right, a 0 and 1 doesn't work. It's checked. The word has to be checked.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
it's
Yes.
not value, right? No,
It's
but
checked. Correct.
checked equals checked, right?
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes, so the checked word has to be there. Value is a different thing, but the checked has to be there. The word checked will only then it will show the checkbox.
But
so,
Look at this.
but where is the check? There is not. Let me
so
just do something to colon value and true, just to have a sanity check, because vmodel does exactly that, and it's not doing it. Is
yeah.
it because of the read only or what?
Mm, don't know. So I think what Amit is saying,
If
can we try
if you
that?
put
Yeah, go ahead.
So
if,
i-
if you
if
basically put checked right as a value, just type checked equal to true. Checked equal to true or checked equal to true.
Like so.
so
I'm not
basically,
sure about column.
so so for what I know is right plain HTML. We need checked equal to checked to show something, and if we
Yeah,
simply not if we remove this whole attribute, then it is empty. Did
but
this show?
still now. Oh no, we have to compile. This is in view.
Okay.
It should, because now it's native HTML. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, this isn't. This is a very basic thing, but
No,
I
no,
don't
that's
do this manually for a
so.
long time.
We have been
It's okay.
working with filament, etc., and all the components. Like even I am using Flux, so
Yeah,
we like these basic things we will forget. So it's very common. That's
yeah.
completely fine. Happens with me all the time, and Amitav is so patient that he is helping us even while watching the stream. So check the names.
Task in
He has shared a
tasks.
link where Vue.js to show. Okay, only checked. So Amitav, what he was doing is the same thing. V model checked. It should have worked. Is it
But
the
is it?
type checkbox also is right? Yeah, it should have worked with what you were already doing. For the second, then
Look
maybe
at the first example on that page. Look at the first example on that page. The first example. No, the
This
checkbox one.
tag?
From the checkbox.
Of course. Yeah.
it was that
Yeah, you
only.
see the v model equal to checked. See that value?
Yeah, but this checked means the checked variable. This is not a string. This is a
Hmm.
JavaScript variable.
Hmm.
Okay.
So for example, they are not showing, but it's like this message, you see? Message is a variable. This is a string.
Okay.
And I cannot believe it that we are, you see, true, false. The checked is either false or true.
Yes, I am also playing with that, and the value of
Is
checked
it because of being an integer? Wait a moment. Maybe let's
cast it.
yeah.
So V model task is complete should work.
Ah, you see? Done. It
Ah,
was because of 1 and 0.
okay. Yes.
God damn it.
Even Amitav
Yes.
have guessed it. Yes.
Oof, sorry.
No problem. Yes.
It's harder to make a checkbox work than mingle and react and view.
That's how the
So true.
yeah.
Yeah,
But also solving an issue on a live stream is also an achievement.
it is.
Yes.
Feels good. Yeah, I
I
was
think
trying
we
to.
are in dark mode or what? I will try and put the dev mode again. Let's see if it works. Okay, it worked. Not so bad. Sometimes it recovers. It's just something I cannot predict. So there's an element that's right. So margin right, little bit. Nah, it didn't. I think MR8 should have done the job, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is the button, this is the input. So let's put another task. And I will save and refresh, and it's there, right? So what we could do now is we have to update the state, right? Would you want to update a Livewire component on the other section, like Amitav was saying?
So
We can refresh on both. So what I was going to say is we can have another div here, which is not mingled. And here it would be something else.
So I think from the database, I think it's because that will fetch from the database itself, right? The new component that we'll create.
We can, or we can do it just by passing an event and a payload in such event. Maybe we can just put a console log, right? And we can just add something.
Yes.
And we can just say task, etc. added, for example.
Yes. Let's do that. So event, I think that
Okay.
would be better. Like we simply trigger a event or whatever way that you are comfortable with, so that we can communicate with non-mingle component. I think that would be nice.
Yeah. We can come and append to the inner text what was done.
So sorry, can you repeat?
We can come and append something. We add a task, this task added. And then we add another task, this task added, this task added. Just to make a small behavior. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so the log is empty. So now we're going to go and on our view component, and we can have, for example, each task could have been its own view component, right? We could separate, or React component. But maybe we can do that in other live streaming after you try and explore either React or Vue, and then maybe we can do a follow-up stream and explore more advanced use cases.
I can
Ashish,
already
you
see the
still
power.
didn't?
I can already see the power. Like, I think especially the ones like you who like React and Vue, they would love this mingling with Livewire, because the power that Livewire gives of updating backend quickly, like just in a component with a component function. I think
Yes, I love it.
I,
Yeah.
that's I completely get it now. So yes, it's definitely for someone who loves Vue and React but still wants the power of Livewire. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll sync up again.
for sure. Ashish, are you enjoying or no? You didn't speak anything? Maybe you're not liking or what?
No, I am liking, but it's a little bit confusing for me.
Is it
So
I will
confusing?
cry first. Yeah, I will cry first, and then next session will be my session only. I will be
Okay, of course.
asking questions.
Let's do it. Maybe it was too fast or you're not familiar with the stuff. It was too fast, but do at your own speed, and then we follow up and make it all clear.
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Hi, Amitav. Amitav is here. I actually got it on stream because he was into this stream so
Hey,
much.
Hey,
Amita.
Amitabh.
It was fun solving HTML programming language problems instead of
Yeah,
JavaScript problems.
that's the hard problem, not JavaScript. No, HTML is hard. Yeah.
HTML is
Yeah.
hard. Hmm.
What we wanted? We wanted to update. We wanted to update the tasks, right? So let's make a different. Let's not think in amount of requests or anything. Let's just make it work, and then optimizations could come next. So I would say update task list, right? And every time I invoke this function, then we would wire dot update task list for consistency, for example. And I would then data and then tasks dot value equals data returned. So if all goes well, I'll go to the backend. Oops, no, this. And we already have this. So update task list. I mean, it's not the most beautiful name now that I think about it because of this. Why are you task ID missing? Oh, because I duplicated, right? Okay, so if all goes well, update task list should still work, and it does. Now we can do it in multiple ways. So after we mark a task completed, we can update the task list, for example, right? So we would have to bring it up because it's still not declared. So we would now update task list. Probably after, only after, not to do it like so. So this is one option. Updating code, okay. So this is one option. So after we save, after we make some task complete, we update the list. And it should work in theory. And I think it did, but it's not here that we wanted. We wanted this, but after saving a new one, right? So we will also want this after saving. So if all goes well, I'm going to go and build. And once we add a list, something to the list, it will come in the list. And it does. And we don't have a log. We will now. We can even have it other way. Maybe you want to see other way of not repeating. We can, for example, livewire on, and we will say task list update. That's it. So every time we emit this event, the task list will update, right? So I delete it from both places. And I copy the name, right? So I'm just going to go and, yeah. After we complete a task, we dispatch an event, task list update. And we also do that after saving a new one to the database. So if all goes well, this should do exactly the same.
All the best.
Come again?
All the best.
Yeah, let's hope. Okay, so let's do 11111, and it's there. 2222, it's there. That's it. If we do update a complete, boom, it's there. So yeah, this is the power of events already. And also, we wanted to do the log as Amitav suggested, and very well. We want to update that div for the log. Oh, it's outside Mingle. Yeah. Div ID log.
Yes.
We wanted after saving a task.
Yes.
You want to do it with an event or with a return?
I will let
Event
Amitav
I can
answer that.
understand. With the return is something which would be interesting to see.
Sure. So after we save, we have a standard would be we save. Oh no. We save the task and we return said task, right?
Okay.
We don't have a task variable, I think. No. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was to see if you are paying attention.
And also it's conflicting. Task is conflicting, so.
Okay, I think it wouldn't. It would override. I think it would work, but yeah, I agree. It's confusing. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
So we return the task model instance. That's it. That's it. So when we save task, once we save the task, here we go. We now have the task here. And now we can update that log. So document
okay.
query selector.
Query selector, take that inner HTML and then.
Or inner text as well.
Yeah.
It's same, right? If I put a string, it will be inner text, right? Plus equals task dot description. Yeah, inner HTML works better. Yeah. Let's all the best, right? Let's see what happens. Here we go. Refresh. Buy eggs, buy milk. Here we go. Hey, it works.
Yeah.
Wait, works.
This is not cleaning. We should clean up ourselves, the task. Buy egg, go to bank. Here we go.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think
Now
that
I'm
the
happy.
next to do is
Now-
go to bed.
Yes, what time is it there? Good.
It's 9:50 here. So yeah, I mean I know Jigar and even I think Ashish stay up pretty late. I'm the early sleeper. I typically go down by 10:15. So, so that's my to-do list.
Actually, I am going to say that, but I am just waiting for this task to be completed.
Right. This is fun. Yeah. I always missed that JavaScript fun inside Livewire. Alpine is there, but yeah, I mean this is really next level. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Thanks.
I recollect Patricio mentioned that he, like, when the JavaScript logic becomes complex, he doesn't like writing too much of Alpine JS. That's where we like, even I understand the structure that these libraries give, like React component style libraries. I think it's well structured, well maintained, better readable. Like, even I don't know much of a Vue or React, but I can easily understand the how components are working. So I completely understand why people would prefer this React View. And then to get the power, I think MingleJS would definitely help. And
Yeah.
with this stream, which we thought like would take 45 minutes, Patricio, it's 1 hour 40
Right. Yeah,
minutes.
it's okay. It has to give the whole value.
Yes. So this value, like, not just for today for 5 folks, but also in the future it will help many, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
thanks for giving your time.
Of course, my pleasure to be here. Thank you everyone for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
Thank you,
Any other
Patricia.
questions, Amitav,
Sure.
Amit, Ashish, and from the comments also?
No, I think with this demo things are very clear. The next thing is to go try it out, and then have some questions.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
can mention one more, which is nice. Where is the... Oh no, didn't I put it here?
Ashish wants to leave. He has another meet.
Of course. So there is something like... Let me just see if I can show it really quick. No, it's still not here. Yeah, I still wanted to show it inside Filament and all, but maybe a next session. It's a placeholder when the React component, imagine you have something, some slow query to perform, right?
Slow query. Okay.
Yeah, so you can come in the component and you do the placeholder.
Ah. Okay.
So if there's something very slow running here, you can put a little bit of HTML that will render, like taking the same size, more or less, and then it will not make the page flicker.
Flicker.
Or of course, you can do that in the JavaScript component and load it after the initial load. So yeah, I think this is something we missed to see, and it's worth mentioning. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks.
Of course.
Yes, I think no more comments from the chat. Amit, how did you
Okay.
like the session?
It was, as I said, it was new part for me. So
Hmm.
I'm still trying to process the logic and how we can implement in my framework.
Nice. At least now you know that this is possible. Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
possible. So now you can explore further, try. And as a dev, we usually when we try, we get more understanding. So I think this
true.
is just a intro, and obviously when we try, we'll get much more understanding. And probably when you do, you will get some ideas how to add this into your
Yeah,
framework.
I like the whole flow.
Fantastic. Any questions, any follow up, or just even not questions if you want to change positions? Next time you will be coding and I will be on the share, right? Just of
Yes.
course, let's go for the next
Yes.
session.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me try this. I like I mentioned. So I can say now what I will be trying is so this Laracon Connect game that we had played. Amitav didn't, but in the conference, many people played a game called Laracon in Connect. So in that there is a section called timeline activities. It has a timeline where a player can view their score. So that was the component is actually created by me, Livewire component. It's a very custom component for the styling, etc. Even I don't like it. So my thought is to use a standard library from a React and Vue and inject it so that I don't have to maintain that component. I will use some good standard library of well-known React component, and then I'll try that mingling the React and my project, and I will understand more. But and also I will keep it because I am pretty sure React will have, because I tried to find the same some components in Livewire and Flux, but no, Flux still doesn't have those components. But I'm pretty sure someone in React have this timeline, and I already searched it. They have some timeline. I will
Yeah.
simply inject it, and let's see if things work out.
Yeah, and one thing which I do feel, from a large project perspective is, I have been part of a few code bases where the JavaScript was jQuery, and the company definitely wants to modernize their application and have a new JavaScript code, but React, Vue, most of the solutions want you to completely migrate to it, and in a big application that is a huge cost to the business. But this approach, it allows you to continue to have your front end team, still be valuable because they will contribute to the code base, and you don't have the baggage of converting the entire application one shot into a SPA kind of a thing, which to
Yeah.
a certain extent is also the case with inertia, because it is very difficult to have inertia based pages and also liveware or Laravel pages. So now at point you have to make that switch, but this is a very sweet balance where you can be very comfortable with your pace of
Hmm.
changing it, which is a great thing for large
Yeah.
applications.
Very
Very
nice.
interesting.
Very nice use case, because let's say Livewire developer is busy and React developer free, which is very rare. We can ask React developer
It's
to
No,
can ask him
typically,
to.
Jigar, that's where I think at least I know a few organizations, including mine. We have a lot of front end developers because
Okay.
we do WordPress and Drupal websites.
Hmm.
And what I have seen is if these are API projects, one backend developer can keep 2 to 3 front end developers busy for a good amount of time.
Hmm.
So we do have a lot of front end developers.
Hmm.
yeah.
And suddenly, if I start talking about liveware and everything, they will be like, "Oh, so you now want to do front end as well? Hold on." But this is this is the balance. I
Hmm.
think, yeah.
Nice. Good, very
Yeah.
good
I'll
point.
definitely
Probably
try this out.
Patricia should add this point in the homepage also, that you can use this in this way also.
Oh, for sure. I think it's already the incremental
That is the first
Livewire.
point. That is first point. But from what I have understood is, what I had understood was that it is someone who want to learn Livewire. If I'm not wrong, like get into the Livewire ecosystem. This is what I have understood.
So for the front end team to
Hmm.
do Livewire as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can do okay. So they can also do basic stuff,
Hmm.
getting a model, reading from the database or something. It's a very approachable way because you just make a PHP class and you learn eloquent model, where active true, get, bam. And front-end developer is now back-end developer. Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool
And you
one.
have
Yeah.
and you have queries like task get all or task all.
Yeah. 10,000 tasks, let them come, don't worry.
Nice.
That's right.
Yeah,
All right.
All right.
fantastic.
Yes, we are we are also reaching the limit of Riverside free quota.
Okay, so let's call it a day, right?
Yes. Thanks for joining and explaining us what MingleJS is, and thanks Amitav for joining in between. So yeah,
No problem. It
very
is always
impromptu.
fun to work with
Yes,
Patricia.
yes,
Yeah,
and
we should catch up. We don't speak for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. This is the first
yeah,
time this year, so yeah, we should
Indeed.
definitely catch up. Sure.
and
Yeah.
thanks
Thank you
Amit.
for the opportunity, everyone.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
bye.
having me. Thank you. Bye bye.